Matia Teresa.
My name is Sandra Donaby, and I'm going to do a commemorative speech. A commemorative speech is a speech of praise and celebration. You taught me everything, and everything you've given me, I always keep it inside. You're the driving force in my life. The title of my commemorative speech is A God-Given Granny. My granny was a person, the person that I'm going to tell you about. She's been the most important person in my life from birth to eternity. I'm going to tell you about her to let you know how special she was to me and all the meaningful things that she did in my life. The person that I'm celebrating, she's Miss Nettie. And she taught me about responsibility, she taught me about respect, and she taught me about reverence. She treated me better than her own children. She taught me many activities, and we shared many interesting things. Things that she taught me, responsibility. As a child, the way she taught me responsibility was I was able to go to the grocery store to do the shopping, even before I was old enough to actually be going to the store. And the good part about that was if there were change left, I got to keep it. And my next point is she taught me respect. And as a child, I was always taught not to say yeah and no. The proper thing that we were taught to do was to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, and no sir. And she taught me about religion. As a child, we did not have the opportunity to say if we wanted to go to church or not. If you were alive, you were going to church when Sunday came. And even if we went out the night before, when Sunday morning came, you were going to church. My next point is how she treated me. She was a great woman, and she was a great nurse. And when I was sick as a child, she would always take really good care of me. And if I had a cold, she would get this product called Tala, and she would warm it up, and she would rub it on my chest, and she would get a cloth and heat it in the oven. And she would take the cloth and put it on my chest, and she would put me on a flannel gown, and she would then put me in the bed and tuck me in on the lots of cover, and she would leave the heat on all night so that I could sweat the cold out. And she was the person who bought my clothes. She bought me clothes, and she also made me clothes. She was a great seamstress. She didn't necessarily have to have a pattern. She would just imagine how the pattern would be, and she would cut it out, and we would have homemade clothes. And when I went to Jackson State University as a student there, she sent me care packages from time to time. And she would have grandma cookies and all kind of snacks in there. And she was a great, great, great provider. And I never had to worry about anything to eat because she always was going to send me that box. My next point would be the activities that we did together. In the summertime, we often took trips to New York City or to Ohio. And once we went to New York, and she got a job there, and we stayed there for a while. And she did that to also take care of me. And she taught me how to sew. She was a great seamstress, as I said before, and she taught me how to sew. And when I was in high school, I took this class called Home Economics. And when I was in the Home Economics class, I didn't have to worry if I was going to get my projects done because my grandmother knew how to sew, and she taught me everything that she knew. And she also taught me about gardening. She was a great and avid gardener. She was the type of person, she would get up early in the morning and she would go out in the garden and she would chop and she would plant crops. And then at the end of the day, she would come in, and when the crops grew, she would go back and harvest them. And that's what we ate. We ate from her garden. And she was a great, great, great gardener. And in closing, I would say, my grandmother, she was the person who taught me about responsibility, respect, and religion. She was a great woman. Amen. And she bought me clothes, and she also made clothes for me. She sent me care packages when I went to Jackson State. We went on trips together. She taught me about sewing, and she also taught me about gardening. And if you have children, they need to know their extended family. And whether you get along with those people or not, grandparents are here for a reason. They are a gift from God. So cherish them. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll take it.